Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of The Kitchen, coming to you live from my kitchen. This week I wanted to discuss blueberries. So blueberries, a lot of people kind of give them this tag word or buzzword of superfood, and I don't really love that word. And the reason, nothing against the word, it's a perfectly great word, but the use of the word makes us believe that some foods are better than others. And maybe that's true, but what we really want to think about is that food is all super, right? The reason why we eat food is to gain nutrients. So the food that we are meant to eat is super, right? So all of the food that we are meant to eat is a superfood, blueberries being one of them. So they are beautiful and delicious and I love them. So they're not really a superfood in my book, they are just a food. And one of the, about 10 of the reasons why we should be including blueberries into our routine is, like I said, about 10 reasons. My first and favorite is they help our brain. They, anytime there's an anthocyanin, anything that you see that's blue, like eggplant has a little bit of it, blueberries has a little bit of it, that's cyanin, that's that cyanotic kind of blue, right? Those are the blue polyphenols in food, and that is a phenomenal antioxidant and can be anti-inflammatory as well. But these antioxidation compounds that we have in blueberries are fantastic, and they lend themselves to a host of health benefits for us. So we can improve our risk of heart disease goes down when we eat more blueberries. It can help us to lower our blood pressure. Like I said, it really helps with our brain. It can help with brain function and memory. If we are athletic, it can help us with muscle recovery, and delayed onset muscle soreness can be far less. It can reduce DNA damage, and it can even be a prevention for cancer and an anti-aging compound as well. So, I don't know, maybe, go ahead, call it a superfood if you will, but honestly, it is just a food. So what can we do with blueberries? We can eat them as it is. You can add them, usually I make one of my breakfasts, I always call it a framework food for my breakfast, is a nut and berry cereal. So I take a variety of nuts and a variety of berries, and I put some almond milk over that, and that is pretty much my breakfast. Super easy, super nutrient dense. I don't have to cook it, and I am really excited by it all the time. It's just one of those things, but especially during berry season. You can add different types of fruit depending on what the season are, apple, banana, whatever it is that you like that kind of goes. I don't know if you want to be dumping almond milk over oranges, probably not so awesome, but hey, you know what? Maybe do peaches and cream, right? So those acids sometimes blend pretty well. So there's my pitch for our blueberries. And some ways to incorporate them. You can just eat them, as I said, like in a nut and berry cereal. You could have them in a yogurt parfait. A lot of times people will put them into muffins. Maybe we're gonna lose some of that health benefit cooking that muffin up with, but they taste really good. And we were just talking about back in the day, there was really only two types of muffins, blueberry and corn. You slice them in half and they put them on the griddle with a pat of butter, and it was pretty awesome. So I don't know how much of that blueberry gets in there from that, but you can put them in smoothies. That keeps it whole and it protects those compounds. But then you've got all those leftover blueberries. You got to throw them in a blueberry cake or a blueberry muffin. Who could blame you? My son goes to school up in Maine, and I said, you know what? Instead of candy bowls, they should have blueberry bowls up there. So that's what I'm pulling for. If you watch me up in Maine, Michael's weighed in about his blueberry experience, which I think is phenomenal. I can't say enough good things, obviously, about blueberries. Well, maybe we'll get some blueberries from you. We can't wait to taste them. So enjoy your blueberries. 'Tis the season, and thanks for joining me on this week's episode of The Kitchen.